Good evening, everyone. Let me start with a truth we all know deep in our hearts, but sometimes forget when the lights are bright and the world is loud. What you see on the outside is never the whole story. True worth lies beyond appearances. This simple truth is often forgotten in a world consumed by surface-level impressions. We are constantly surrounded by images, whether on social media, in advertising, or even in everyday interactions, that emphasize outward beauty and perfection. These images are carefully crafted, polished, and designed to captivate. But they often tell only a fraction of the story. Beneath the surface lies the true essence of who we are, an essence that can never be captured by a photo, a title, or a perfectly worded introduction. We live in a society that values what can be seen and measured at a glance. First impressions are said to count the most, and people are often judged within moments of meeting them. Their clothes, their posture, their smile. These details are often mistaken for a reflection of their character, their intelligence, or their capacity to contribute to the world. But this superficial approach to understanding others overlooks the richness of human complexity. It fails to account for the depth of experience, the wisdom gained through struggles, or the kindness that resides in a person's soul. There are countless stories of individuals who defied these shallow judgments. Think of those who were initially dismissed or underestimated because they didn't fit the mold of success or beauty. History is filled with examples of people who were overlooked, not because they lacked talent or heart, but because the world was too focused on appearances to see their potential. Yet these individuals persevered, proving that true worth is not dictated by outward appearances, but by inner strength, determination, and authenticity. True worth cannot be measured by physical traits or material possessions. It is found in the unseen qualities that make us human: integrity, empathy, and resilience. These are the traits that define who we are and how we navigate the world. A person's true worth becomes evident not in how they look, but in how they live their lives. It's in the way they treat others, the effort they put into their work, and the kindness they show even when no one is watching. These qualities are what give life meaning and allow us to connect with one another on a deeper level. Appearances can be deceiving. What looks perfect on the outside may hide insecurities, pain, or struggles that are not immediately visible. Similarly, someone who appears quiet or unremarkable on the surface may possess a depth of character and insight that becomes apparent only when you take the time to truly know them. To judge someone solely by their appearance is to rob yourself of the opportunity to understand their story, their dreams, and the unique contributions they have to offer. When we focus too much on appearances, we risk losing sight of what truly matters. This obsession with how things look can lead us to prioritize style over substance, fleeting impressions over lasting connections. It can cause us to chase ideals that are not authentic or sustainable, leaving us feeling unfulfilled and disconnected from our true selves. True worth is about finding meaning beyond the surface, appreciating the richness of life that cannot be captured in a glance, and recognizing the inherent value in every individual, regardless of how they present themselves to the world. When you take the time to look beyond appearances, you open yourself up to a world of discovery. You begin to see people for who they truly are, not just who they seem to be. You learn to value qualities like kindness, patience, and creativity, which may not be immediately visible but are profoundly impactful. True worth is not something that can be seen with the eyes. It is something that must be felt with the heart. It is found in the quiet moments, the small gestures, and the ways we choose to show up for ourselves and others. Surface beauty can mask deeper truths. This is a reality we encounter often, but it can be difficult to recognize when we're captivated by what is immediately visible. In a world where appearances are celebrated and often prioritized, it's easy to get caught up in the allure of outward perfection. However, what we see on the surface is rarely a complete or accurate reflection of what lies beneath. The surface is a carefully constructed layer, sometimes designed to impress, sometimes meant to conceal, but always incomplete. The danger of surface beauty is that it can create an illusion, a false sense of understanding that prevents us from looking deeper. We might see someone who appears confident, successful, and flawless and assume they have everything figured out. We might look at a situation that seems perfect from the outside and believe there's no room for struggle or imperfection. But these assumptions can lead us astray. Surface beauty often tells only part of the story, leaving the most important details hidden. The truth is that appearances are often curated. Social media, for instance, has amplified this phenomenon by giving people the tools to present their lives in the best possible light. We see filtered images, staged moments, and carefully chosen words that paint a picture of perfection. But these snapshots rarely capture the full reality. Behind every polished image, there are untold stories of effort, sacrifice, and sometimes pain. People share their triumphs, but often hide their struggles, creating a gap between appearance and reality. Surface beauty can also be misleading because it tends to focus on external attributes rather than internal qualities. This can cause us to place value on things that are fleeting and superficial instead of on what truly matters. Physical beauty, wealth, and social status may catch our attention, but they are not reliable indicators of a person's character, values, or depth. Someone who appears to have it all may lack empathy or kindness, while someone who goes unnoticed may possess a heart full of generosity and wisdom. This disconnect between appearance and truth extends beyond individuals. It applies to relationships, opportunities, and even challenges. A seemingly perfect relationship may hide unresolved issues. A dream job may come with pressures and sacrifices that aren't immediately visible. And a challenge that seems insurmountable at first glance may hold lessons and opportunities for growth that are not immediately apparent. When we judge based solely on what we see, we limit our ability to understand and engage with the deeper truths that lie beneath the surface. Recognizing the limitations of surface beauty requires us to approach people and situations with curiosity and openness. Instead of accepting appearances at face value, we can make an effort to look beyond them. This means asking questions, listening with intention, and taking the time to understand what's really going on beneath the surface. It means resisting the temptation to judge quickly and instead embracing the complexity and depth that come with truly knowing someone or something. Surface beauty also has the power to distract us from our own deeper truths. When we focus too much on how we appear to others, we may lose sight of who we are and what we truly value. This can lead to a disconnect between our inner selves and the personas we project to the world. It's important to remember that our worth is not defined by how we look or how others perceive us, but by the integrity, resilience, and love we carry within us. Understanding that surface beauty can mask deeper truths allows us to approach life with greater empathy and awareness. It encourages us to look beyond the obvious, to dig deeper, and to seek out the richness and complexity that make each person and each experience unique. In doing so, we give ourselves the opportunity to connect more authentically, to learn more deeply, and to live more fully. Substance and authenticity matter more than image. This truth is often overshadowed in a world that puts an exaggerated emphasis on appearances. People are frequently judged by their looks, their possessions, or the way they present themselves to the world, but none of these factors can truly define the essence of a person. What truly matters, what carries weight, is the substance of their character and the authenticity with which they live their lives. Image by its nature is fleeting and malleable. It can be shaped and reshaped to fit whatever narrative is needed in the moment. People can craft personas, polish their exteriors, and create an illusion of perfection that may hold up in the short term. But beneath that surface, the true essence of a person always remains. Substance is what stands the test of time. It is the foundation on which trust, respect, and meaningful connections are built. Without substance, even the most dazzling image is ultimately hollow. And sometimes Authenticity is what brings substance to life. It is the quality of being genuine, of living in alignment with one's values and beliefs, regardless of external pressures. In a world that often rewards conformity and superficiality, authenticity can be a radical act. It requires courage to show up as your true self, to resist the temptation to pretend or to conform to expectations that do not align with who you are. But it is through this courage that real connections are made and meaningful impact is achieved. When substance and authenticity are prioritized over image, it changes the way people interact with one another. Instead of judging others based on superficial traits, there is a focus on deeper qualities: kindness, integrity, empathy, and resilience. These are the qualities that build trust and create lasting bonds. They are also the qualities that define true leadership, as they inspire others not by appearances, but by actions and values. One of the challenges in valuing substance and authenticity is that they are not always immediately visible. It takes time and effort to understand the depth of a person's character or the authenticity of their actions. In contrast, image is often the first thing people notice, and it can be tempting to stop there. However, when people take the time to look beyond the surface, they often discover richness and complexity that far exceed what they initially perceived. Substance and authenticity also bring meaning and fulfillment to life. Chasing after image, whether through material possessions, social status, or physical appearance, can lead to a constant sense of dissatisfaction. There is always a new trend to follow, a new standard to meet, or a new audience to impress. This pursuit can feel like a never-ending cycle of trying to be something you are not. On the other hand, living with authenticity allows people to find contentment in who they are and to build lives that are aligned with their values. The importance of substance and authenticity extends beyond individuals to relationships, communities, and even societies. When relationships are built on authenticity, they are more resilient and fulfilling because they are grounded in mutual understanding and respect. When communities prioritize substance over image, they create spaces where people feel valued for who they are, not for how they appear. And when societies embrace authenticity, they cultivate cultures of inclusivity, empathy, and growth. It's important to recognize that valuing substance and authenticity does not mean ignoring image entirely. Presentation and appearance can play a role in communication and self-expression. However, they should never take precedence over the deeper qualities that define who a person truly is. Image may attract attention, but substance and authenticity are what leave a lasting impact. When people choose to live authentically and prioritize substance over image, they not only enrich their own lives, but also inspire others to do the same. Overlooked individuals often carry profound strength. This is a reality that speaks to the depth and resilience of the human spirit, often hidden from plain sight. In a world that tends to celebrate the loudest voices, the most visible successes, and the most conventional forms of beauty or achievement, it is easy to miss the extraordinary qualities of those who operate quietly, persistently, and with an unassuming presence. Yet, these individuals often possess an inner strength that is both remarkable and transformative. Strength doesn't always announce itself. It doesn't always come with grand gestures or bold declarations. Often the most profound strength lies in quiet perseverance, in the ability to endure challenges and hardships without seeking recognition or validation. It is in the person who keeps showing up day after day, even when the odds are stacked against them. It is in the individual who continues to believe in their dreams, even when no one else seems to notice or understand. These overlooked individuals are often the ones who have faced adversity head-on. They have weathered storms that others might not even be aware of. Their strength is forged in the fire of experience, in the moments when they had to dig deep within themselves to find courage, resilience, and hope. This strength is not always visible on the surface because it doesn't seek attention. It is quiet, steady, and unshakable, built on a foundation of inner resolve. The world has a tendency to value certain traits and qualities more than others, which can lead to people being overlooked simply because they don't fit a particular mold. Someone who is introverted might be seen as less dynamic, even though they may possess incredible insight and creativity. A person who doesn't conform to traditional standards of beauty might be underestimated, even though their character and talents far surpass those of others. These biases prevent people from seeing the full range of human potential and the immense strength that often resides in unexpected places. Overlooked individuals often carry strength because they have learned to rely on themselves. When recognition or support is not readily available, they develop an internal compass that guides them through life's challenges. They become self-reliant, resourceful, and determined. This self-reliance doesn't mean they are disconnected or isolated. It means they have discovered their own capacity to endure and thrive, even when external validation is absent. There is also a humility that comes with being overlooked, a humility that often enhances strength. These individuals don't need to prove themselves to others because they know their worth. They are not driven by the need for approval or applause. Instead, they are motivated by a deep sense of purpose, by a commitment to their values, and by a desire to contribute meaningfully to the world around them. This quiet confidence allows them to stand firm in who they are, even in the face of doubt or dismissal. When people take the time to truly see and understand these individuals, they often discover qualities that are extraordinary. They find wisdom born of experience, compassion shaped by hardship, and a depth of character that cannot be faked or fabricated. Overlooked individuals often carry with them stories of triumph, resilience, and perseverance that have the power to inspire and uplift others. Recognizing the strength of overlooked individuals requires a shift in perspective. It means looking beyond appearances and initial impressions to truly understand the richness and complexity of a person's journey. It means valuing qualities like kindness, humility, and determination, which are not always immediately visible, but are profoundly impactful. It also means creating spaces where all people feel seen and valued for who they are, not just for how they present themselves or conform to societal expectations. To shift the strength of overlooked individuals is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It reminds us that greatness often resides in the places we least expect, in the people who quietly and consistently make the world a better place through their actions, their perseverance, and their unwavering authenticity. Measure yourself by impact, not by appearance. This is a principle that challenges the common tendency to evaluate worth based on how things look rather than what they achieve. In a world dominated by visual culture, where image often overshadows substance, it can be tempting to define success through superficial metrics, beauty, wealth, or the approval of others. But true fulfillment and meaning come from the difference you make, not how you appear while making it. Impact is about creating change, influencing others, and leaving the world better than you found it. It is measured by the lives you touch, the kindness you show, and the progress you inspire. These are things that cannot always be seen or quantified in traditional ways, but they carry more significance than any outward appearance ever could. A person's true value lies in their ability to connect with others, to contribute to something larger than themselves, and to make choices that align with their values and purpose. When you measure yourself by impact, you shift the focus away from the need to impress others. Instead, you begin to ask more meaningful questions. What have I done to help someone today? How have I used my talents and resources to make a positive difference? Have I stood up for what is right even when it was difficult? These questions guide you toward a life of substance and authenticity, rather than one driven by the fleeting approval that comes from appearances. The pressure to measure oneself by appearance is pervasive, reinforced by societal standards and cultural norms. From an early age, people are taught to value how they look, how they are perceived, and how well they conform to the ideals set by others. This creates a cycle of comparison and insecurity, where self-worth becomes tied to external validation. Breaking free from this cycle requires a conscious effort to redefine what success and fulfillment mean. It means prioritizing what you do over how you look doing it, and who you are over how you are perceived. Impact is often subtle and takes time to unfold, which is why it can be overlooked in a society that craves instant gratification. You may not always see the results of your actions immediately, and others may not always recognize your contributions. However, the true measure of impact is not in the recognition it receives, but in the lives it touches. A single act of kindness, a moment of encouragement, or a gesture of support can ripple out in ways you may never fully understand. These small but significant actions are the building blocks of a meaningful life. Focusing on impact also allows you to align your life with your values and purpose. When you are driven by the desire to make a difference, you are less likely to be swayed by superficial concerns or temporary distractions. Instead, you are guided by a deeper sense of purpose that keeps you grounded and motivated. This alignment brings clarity and fulfillment, as you know that your efforts are contributing to something meaningful and lasting. Measuring yourself by impact rather than appearance also creates a sense of resilience. Appearances are fragile and subject to change. They can be influenced by external factors beyond your control, leaving you vulnerable to feelings of inadequacy or doubt. But impact is rooted in actions and values, which are entirely within your power. No matter what challenges you face or how the world around you changes, your ability to make a positive difference remains. This focus on impact provides a solid foundation that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. By choosing to measure yourself by impact, you not only enrich your own life, but also inspire others to do the same. You create a ripple effect of authenticity and purpose, encouraging those around you to look beyond appearances and focus on what truly matters. In doing so, you contribute to a culture that values substance over superficiality, meaning over image, and connection over competition. The legacy you build is one of genuine influence, where your actions speak louder than any appearance ever could. Legacy is built through heart and action, not looks. This truth highlights the enduring impact of what we do and who we are over how we appear. In a world that often prioritizes image, it is important to remember that true legacy is not shaped by outward appearances or fleeting trends. Instead, it is the result of consistent actions, meaningful contributions, and the way we treat others. Legacy is a reflection of the values we live by and the choices we make every day, and it is these things, not appearances, that leave a lasting impression on the world. When people reflect on their lives, they rarely focus on how they looked or how others perceive their physical appearance. Instead, they think about the lives they've touched, the relationships they've built, and the positive changes they've inspired. This is because legacy is not tied to the surface-level attributes that fade over time. It is rooted in the deeper, more meaningful aspects of life: love, kindness, generosity, and purpose. These are the qualities that endure, even after we are gone, because they create ripples that extend far beyond our immediate presence. Building a legacy requires heart because it involves acting from a place of authenticity, compassion, and intention. It is not about striving for perfection or trying to impress others. Instead, it is about living in alignment with your values and letting those values guide your actions. When you act with heart, you prioritize what truly matters, whether it's supporting someone in need, standing up for what you believe in, or dedicating yourself to a cause that makes a difference. These actions may not always be visible or glamorous, but they are the ones that create a meaningful and lasting legacy. Action is the other critical component of legacy. It is not enough to have good intentions or a kind heart. Those intentions must be translated into tangible efforts and meaningful contributions. Legacy is built through the choices you make, the work you do, and the way you show up for others. Whether it's in your personal relationships, your career, or your community, every action contributes to the story you leave behind. Small, consistent actions can have a profound impact over time. And even the simplest gestures of kindness or support can leave a lasting impression. Focusing on heart and action rather than looks also allows for greater inclusivity and authenticity in how legacies are shaped. In a society that often rewards those who conform to certain standards of beauty or success, it is easy for people to feel excluded or undervalued. However, when legacy is defined by the impact of one's actions and the authenticity of one's character, it creates space for everyone to contribute in their own unique way. It reminds us that our worth is not determined by how we look, but by the difference we make in the lives of others. The beauty of a legacy built through heart and action is that it is not limited by time or circumstance. Appearances are fleeting and subject to change, but the impact of your actions can endure for generations. A single act of kindness can inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond what you may ever see. A commitment to living with integrity and purpose can influence the people around you, shaping their perspectives and encouraging them to live with greater intention. A legacy built through heart and action also has the power to transcend barriers and connect people across differences. While appearances can create divisions based on superficial traits, the impact of meaningful actions speaks to the universal values that unite us all. Compassion, generosity, and courage resonate with people from all walks of life, creating bonds that are stronger and more enduring than those based on appearance. When you focus on heart and action, you contribute to a legacy that is not only personal but also communal. Your efforts become part of a larger story of humanity, one that values substance, connection, and the shared desire to make the world a better place. This kind of legacy is not built overnight, nor is it defined by a single moment. It is the culmination of a lifetime of choices, shaped by the heart you bring to your actions and the impact you leave on the lives of others. In a world that often values appearances over substance, let us remember that true worth lies far deeper than what meets the eye. Life is not defined by the surface. It's about the strength we carry within, the authenticity with which we live, the impact we create through our actions, and the legacies we leave behind. Surface beauty may catch attention, but it is the substance of character, the depth of our kindness, and the resilience of our spirit that make a lasting difference. Let us choose to look beyond appearances and embrace the richness and complexity that exists beneath the surface. Let us measure ourselves not by how we are perceived, but by the love we give, the change we inspire, and the lives we uplift. In doing so, we free ourselves from the trap of superficial judgment and step into a life of purpose, connection, and authenticity. The way forward is clear. Prioritize heart over image, substance over facade, and impact over illusion. When we do this, we not only transform our own lives, but inspire others to see and celebrate the deeper truths that truly define us all. This is how we rise above appearances and leave a legacy that shines far brighter and lasts far longer